What is up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi 36. I am here. We are here. We are here. Back at it like a bad habit. It's been like 2.5 weeks roughly of no ALWT gaming content, and it was a much needed break for some of us. But of course, we love to do this thing, so we'd like to go ahead and hang with you guys, give you guys the video game news, and talk about all this video game and anime stuff that's going on right now. So I'm here with the one, the only corner pocket 9-ball. How you doing today, good sir?
I'm doing good. Doing pretty good.
Heard that.
Reading some stuff real quick.
Heard that. Fun fact for you, when I was in Tampa like a week ago, I played pool. I hit the 9-ball corner pocket.
Well, let's just say my name's not. It's not because I don't play pool. It's not from pool. You should know that. But my second name that I used on the, on a video game thing is also related. Zaka Corporation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's from the same game.
Well, there you go. And without further ado, it is his season. 'Tis the reason for this guy, not the lumberjack, not the farmer, but the one, the only, Leardy Beardy, Mildewy Carrot.
9-ball, I need an adult.
Was you watching like WWE last night or something?
Hey, I'm trying something new. I'm trying something. You know what I mean? Just tried it out.
I mean, he went down to Tampa. I don't know what he got down there, but he apparently brought something back with them to keep him going this long. So I give it about another week before he stops, but still.
Well, the way that you don't have to stop is by going to Rep Sports, REPPSports.com, type in ALWT Game and check out, get 50% off your Raise energy drink, which keeps me going every single day of the week. You know what I mean? Yay, nay, possibly. Okay, so.
I'm shaking my head to that.
Hey, you set me up. You know what I mean? It was a classic setter and spiker move right there. Thank you very much, Bill Dewey. Thank you very much.
I apologize, 9-ball, and to everyone else watching.
So we have a kind of a light news day, a lightish news day. A lot of discussion, a lot of catching up to do. A couple updates for you guys too as well. But before we jump into all that, I want to see what have you guys been up to lately. Again, I know I haven't really actually. And honestly, out of the 2 weeks, I don't think I've actually gamed with you guys in the past 2 weeks. So this is actually like the first time I'm seeing you guys too as well, aside from Mildewy Carey, who got me this gorgeous Gojo poster, which you guys can't see right now, but it's a Gojo poster right here. He got it for my birthday. And in Ohio, if you're watching, I hope you jelly, because I'll bring the peanut butter. But yeah, but yeah, what have you guys been up to lately? Like, what's been new with you there, Mildewy?
Nothing much. Been trying to get through some backlogs, dealing with some personal stuff and in life and all, just trying to keep myself going. Other than that, nothing really super exciting or, fantastic in my world in life. Just a normal gamer over here.
Heard that. Well, what have you been playing lately? I know you say you're on a little bit of a backlog. Any games or animes that you want to shout out that you're getting through?
Getting to the end point in my solo adventure for Raft, so I'm not going to spoil anything for 9-ball or Gravity Mark II, because we're doing a group one of that. Getting back on Generation 0, because they've been doing some updates with that one. Excuse me. Among Trees, which is a solo kind of like little relaxing survival game. Been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel as well. Been getting stuck in the deck building stitch that I have been lately. That any Yu-Gi-Oh! Player can get stuck in is like, let's see what decks we can build.
Yeah.
Also been playing. Yeah. Also been playing Grounded with TBF Abyss, my brother, and our friend. Zenshin, so we've been playing with him on that. But yeah, other than that, just doing my normal thing.
Nine Ball Corner Pocket. What have you been playing lately? What's been going on with you?
I didn't play too much the last couple of weeks. I've been watching quite a bit of footage. Like I said, checked out the Silent Hill footage stuff,
What'd you
which
think?
I
What'd you
should.
think about that? Yeah.
Oh, it was quite interesting. I was kind of surprised that they picked out. Some people are having a lot of doubts about who they picked for Silent Hill 2. I was kind of surprised that they did Silent Hill 2 first. But of the two, it's the most iconic one. When you normally think of Silent Hill, you're going to go to two more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Two is like the pinnacle of it. I was kind of surprised. I liked it. Some of the other ones that looked interesting. They had a classic one. I think what was it? There's a Silent Hill F. There was one. I can't remember the name of it. It started with an A, but there was another one to where it was also looks like it's going to be a multiplayer one because the tagline was "Face your trauma together."
Hmm.
There was a Japanese one which was just weird, and there's I want to say the one about the lighthouse or the I can't remember the name of it. I have to look up some of these names a bit later, but for me it was pretty good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Um,
Okay.
as for me and games, I've been like I said watching some of my other streamers too. They do more. One of them, I think, Dan's Gaming. They do a horror month, and we picked up quite a few games off that. Quite a few good gems showed up. We got the classics. We got what was it? The convenience store, and of course, Poop Killer showed up. So check that one out, and I got that one now in my collection. Um, by the way, if you don't know about those style of games, you ever heard of a B budget slasher horror game, a horror movie? This is the video game equivalent, and it's like they use intentional PlayStation 1 and 2 graphics, bad voice acting, and it's so funny because I think one of the other ones I have is Murder House, and it's incredibly hilarious. But it's like a B budget slasher film. I mean, but Poop Killer, top notch. It's basically about a serial killer that comes for you if you don't flush the toilet, and he comes for you and kills you.
Interesting.
And he has a toilet for a head. He put the toilet on his head.
The,
It's
You could say this killer takes no shit.
yeah,
exactly.
pretty
Yeah.
much. It's outside of that, I think of course been playing the we've been playing the forest with mildewy abs and gravity. We've been doing quite a few games. That one, me and TBF and mildewy also did some master duel one night. We held a little tournament and was just playing around with decks and stuff. Outside with that, with my niece and nephews, been playing a lot of different Roblox games lately. When I know people gonna be surprised, but some of them they're not bad. They're not bad games. Okay, not all Roblox games are bad. I'll give it that because when I first looked at Roblox, cause like, do you want to play them? No, just give me Minecraft.
Speaking
But
of
some,
Roblox, I
yeah.
know we've also been playing Phasmophobia with either TV of Abyss, my bro, or Hey It's Admin Gravity. We've been doing that. We're having fun with the custom difficulties now. So we're
Oh
just
yeah.
turning the flashlights off, being in the dark, faster ghosts, lower sanities, just
God,
really,
let hunt grace time before they.
oh yeah. It's been a lot of fun with that. But speaking of that, just because it reminded me, because I was watching Insum actually. He's a streamer. He does a lot of horror games and all. He actually checked out the Phasmophobia Roblox edition one, and he said it was actually pretty decent. So I'm not sure if you or the kids have taken
Yeah,
a look
we
at that
played
one.
a bit of it, but the kids had no idea how to play the game, and they were scared to go in the building.
So
I'm
you got
like,
three
it was
players in the
only
truck, and Nine Ball's the only one going in. Going, all
yeah, we had
right.
like two. I think only me and like the second out. I think only me and Tierra went in because Tierra was the only other one. Mia stood outside most of the time and watched it, and just handed us equipment. But yeah, I've been having a blast, and like I said, I've checked out. Well, it's over now, but normally on October, Dan's Gaming is when I check out for horror months, and they generally go over like they did. I think the Mortuary's Assistant, which looks pretty good. Martha
has
is
played that one. You should check him out. He played that one, and he plays a lot of horror games. He's played some that look really good, but the Mortuary Assistant is definitely one that would have Malachi turning it off right at the very beginning. You know,
it's on my wish list to get that
it's
one.
on mine too.
Martha is Dead.
I heard that was not I heard that was not good.
It looks interesting.
Yeah,
It's
I heard
very
it was not good at all.
well. It's the problem isn't that the problem is basically, from what I'm understanding, graphical issues. The story itself is not bad, and most people say that the voice actor of the English actor is not as good as the Italian voice actor.
Well, that's the thing is that from some of the reviews I was seeing and everything like that, the story was interesting, and then the stuff that you would want to see, they just did not show. Like there's certain areas that like they explained something and then that was it. Like even when you saw even when it came down to your family, they were either asleep or they weren't home. So like you never really had a whole lot of interaction with anybody. Period. It was like more like puzzle solving or whatever. But it was just like this weird. Like I know how the game is because I saw that and I saw the spoiler review of it. So I know how it ends and stuff, and it sounds interesting, but apparently it was not a good game at all.
I'm gonna give it. I'm waiting for it to drop for a sale, and I'm probably gonna pick it up. Right now, I didn't get it at full price.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is on my list to pick up once, probably during Thanksgiving or Black Friday. It looks interesting enough to get. I'm probably definitely gonna pick up the Mortuary's Assistant shortly. What was the other one? Like I said, I picked up Poop Kill and all those, the trash collection. Oh god, there was another one that was quite interesting. I can't remember the name of it right now. It was Martha is Dead and
have you seen the store's closing that's coming out?
It started with an M also. What was the name of it? Madison. Yeah, that one looked okay. That one's that one looked all right. It's creepy though. It's pretty creepy, but it's not like that of Visage levels of creepy or anything. But yeah, that's what I've been doing for a while there, just checking out a bunch of stuff like that.
Oh, this one. Okay, I have seen Madison.
What, Madison?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer for it. I've never like really.
They was playing it. Yeah, they was playing it on there. That one, like I said, and of course Visage, and where I get my name from because they had to replay that one. What is it? Michigan Report from Hell. Oh, it's a timeless classic. It's so bad, it's good.
I'm going to chime in there so we can get on over to the story portion of it.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, it's a short day. We can take another 5 hours.
Yeah, well. So lately, like for me, like I've actually been in Tampa, for a bit for one of my buddies was getting married, so got to hang out with them and have a good time there and all that good stuff. Which hence part of the reason why some of the streams did not happen. Games I've been playing, so animes I've been playing. I want to start off with animes. So animes I've been watching, Chainsaw Man, been watching that. Right now the latest episode that came out today, I was able to see. So the animation is becoming stellar. Like I know it's the same people that make Jujutsu Kaisen, so that's a plus for it. But the animation is becoming stellar. It is definitely funnier than I thought it was going to be. So that's definitely a good thing. I'm still not at that point where people are just like, "Oh, yo, this anime is legit. You got to do X, Y, Z, whatever the case is."
Yeah, I was about to ask about that because people have been talking to me about that like it's the second coming.
Exactly, same here. So like I've been hearing that, and I can see it has potential of getting there, but right now it's just not there. It's just one of those things that I think they're so far in the head in the manga that they already know what's about to happen and they're excited for that. Very similar to like me now and Bleach, like the 1,000-Year Blood arc is insane right now. But if you're just starting Bleach and getting to the Soul Society, it's like, okay, this is cool, but it's not anything crazy incredible. Like Ohio's actually watching through Bleach actually as right now, and he's getting through it, and he's kind of like he's thinking that these characters are tight, but where I'm at, those characters like they get super tight. But then like even where I'm at right now, the manga readers they already know what happens, and they're just like if you think that this is something, you're not even ready for what's about to happen. So Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. So going back on over to Chainsaw Man, right? It's interesting. It has me coming back weekly to watch, but it's not at that point where I'm like, oh my god, this is up there with Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, Seven Deadly Sins. It's not there yet, but I can see the potential of it getting there. Another one I've been watching weekly is Shinobi no Itoki. So that one's very interesting. That one comes out every Tuesday, so I watched that one today too as well. But yeah, Shinobi no Itoki, and it also has English dub that's happening too weekly. I think the English dub happens like probably after 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it should be available now. But that one's been happening. Uzuki Chan wants to hang out. It's a little slice of life. Season two's been happening. It's a funny anime. I was talking to Gravity about that. He said that I guess there's reports of people saying that she is annoying, and I was like, well, that's the whole purpose of the anime. She's messing with the main character. So
Which
like
one?
that, Uzaki wants to hang out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Tower of God. I've recently finished, and I've been sleeping on that anime. I've been sleeping on that anime. First episode, I watched it one time way back when. Wasn't drawn into it. Wanted to go ahead and give it another shot. Watched it all the way through. I think the ending would have hit me a little harder if I didn't already know this particular spoiler. I'm not going to say it because I don't want it. If anyone decides to give Tower of God a chance, I don't want to. I don't want them to get spoiled like it was for me. But ultimately, it was definitely an anime that I did appreciate, and I am looking forward to a season two. Very curious to how that's going to end. And it also helps that Shirami Lei, who plays Asuna from Sword Art Online, and also Lucy from Fairy Tail, as well as other roles and stuff like that. She's one of the main characters in the anime too as well.
Oh, the
More
kids are still taking over my anime accounts.
more than a married couple, but not lovers is pretty good. If you like slice of life stuff, if you like Toradora from back in the day, if you like that anime, this one kind of fits more into that aspect of Toradora. So very, very
I
similar
was
to.
looking into that. I saw that, and I saw it looked interesting. It's kind of been put on like a back burner for me. So,
Mm.
but I did see that one. I was kind of curious on how that one was being set up.
It's good. It's good. If you like Tor, because Toradora, the premise of that one is that the main character likes this one girl, and then the other main character likes this one guy, and the guy is friends with the one main character, Ryuji, and then the girl is friends with the other character, Taiga. And what they're trying to do is that those two are trying to help them get with their other love interests. But then as the series goes on, you can kind of see the painting in the stars that end up being together. But just like that journey of how they get to that point is very interesting. So that's the vibes that more than a married couple but not lovers. That's the vibe it gives off. It's very interesting. Beast Tamer is freaking fantastic. Beast Tamer is
Oh God,
freaking
I'm thinking of that '90s show. I'm thinking of that
fantastic.
'90s movie.
Oh,
Beast. Beast.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
this
Beast.
I'm thinking as soon as you said Beast Tamer, my head went to and this is one Malachi can shout on is was the Monster Monster
Monster
Rancher?
Ranchers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My head went to that one. I'm like,
I
is
was
it
thinking of.
like
I think.
that? And it's like, first off, dating myself. Second off,
Yeah, Beast Tamer is fantastic. I've been watching Spy Family season 2 weekly, so of course that's a good. Blue Lock. It's interesting as an anime, but I'm not sold on it yet. Been watching My Hero Academia weekly, and so far those are all the animes that I've been watching weekly that's been happening, and also like the new ones I've been trying out.
You've been staying up on yours. I still got to finish watching
Yeah,
Archive 81.
there's a there's a couple other animes that's on my High Dive account that I've been checking out. I watched one episode of I'm gonna pull it up real fast because it would be like 20 seconds. But I've been watching one anime of Call of the Night. I watched that first episode,
which
and
one?
it's Call of the Night on High Dive,
Hmm.
and that's a newer one on High Dive. Like it's a new anime in general, but it's a High Dive exclusive one. Um, the voice acting seems a little dated, but even though it's a new anime, but the premise of it seems pretty interesting. And then I still got to get through Executioner and A Way of Life, and then the other one that I watched, where is it at? My queue. I have Vinland Saga. I watched the first episode of that, and that
Vinland
one's
Saga. Okay,
yeah,
I know
that's
about
on High
that one.
Dive. Yeah, that's on High Dive too. I watched the first episode, and it's not there yet, but it feels like it'll have like a Berserk style feel to it. I
I've
don't
heard
think
of
it. I
Vinland.
don't think
I
it's
think
going to
it's
be like
on
Berserk.
Netflix as well.
It might be. It might be that the font looks familiar, so it might be on Netflix. But I've been watching it on High Dive though. So there's that. Video game wise, actually last Thursday I played a little
Yep,
bit.
it's on there.
Yep. Last Thursday I actually played a little bit of Temtem. Yeah, Temtem. Played that with Gravity actually, and we are trying out the multiplayer because that you can do multiplayer in that game and like kind of go through the quest line that way, which was really cool actually. I wish that Pokemon would adapt that more because I out of the two, I have more of a connection with Pokemon than I do with Temtem. But I am digging what Temtem is doing with their gameplay. Is it something that you would buy? No. Like I would say at most I'd spend $5-10 on it if you had to buy it. I bought it, but I can't remember how much it was when I bought it. I think it was like on sale or something like that. So I would buy it, but it is something that's just like if you can wait until it becomes like free or something like that, wait until then. But it is interesting. It is interesting. So I played that last week. I've also got I've actually been starting a DLC of Ghost of Tsushima, Iki Island. So I'm getting through that. Honestly, I want to say I'm probably a third of the way through that. And that's been pretty fun. That actually reminded me, like, holy crap, Ghost of Tsushima is a fun game. Like I already knew that. That was the first game I purposely platinumed. But going back to the DLC and playing, I'm just like, yo, this is too great. Been getting further in Final Fantasy 14, and then also the last game that I've been playing that's a little bit newer. Actually, it's very new. Is Gotham Knights. I picked up Gotham Knights. I've been playing that with my buddy.
Yeah, I seen that, and
Charlie
somebody
Kim.
said, oh, sorry.
No, you're
From
good.
what I seen, though, it didn't look too interesting. I wasn't hugely interested. Did you like it?
So it's actually a really good game, but here's the thing. I haven't played it single player yet. I've only been playing it with somebody. So that's been making it really fun. But my complaints about it, there's a couple of complaints I have. One is when you're driving your motorcycle, it feels like there's no weight to it at all. So in that sense, it feels like a PS1 game, and they should have implemented some sort of the rumble features like they started doing at the end of PS2 and beginning of PS3. That's what they should have done, but they didn't do that. So again, it feels like paper as you're driving around on this motorcycle. That's one. Two, and this is a personal preference for me. The cutscenes in general, it only shows the person that's hosting, and I wish it would show both players because it's not like that you're creating a player. These are characters that are already in the game, so it doesn't make sense to not have them on the mission with you. Plus, on top of that, if you were to include them, and Mildewy Carrot can attest for this, it will feel more immersive as if we were playing Fuse back in the day. Because I would control one person, Mildewy would control one person, Shaolin Keys would control one person, and TBF Abyss would control one person. And then we will all be together when a cutscene happens. Our characters are all there together.
Well,
it's like Hunters the Reckoning.
So that's definitely it's because they programmed the game to be that way because they programmed them all in. It sounds like they only programmed the cutscenes to be on a single player. So like you're gonna be each one because I'm pretty sure if you think about it, depending upon the combos, you got 4 characters you can choose from.
Yes.
If you have 2 players, you have up to I forgot the math already. What is it? 8?
Don't make me do math.
It's like for each person is like 3, about 9. Or like there's several different combos that you could do for like different sequences and talk between each other because Batgirl and Robin would have a different like banter between the two versus say Robin
sort
and
of like
Red Hood,
Dragon Age. Yeah.
Dragon Age, Mass
Effect, yeah.
Yeah, when you have the character, you're gonna have that banter
the elevator things and they be talking to each other while they're going up.
Yeah, like trust me, like in there was a lot of different combos I love just having just because I'm like just the dialogue was just so freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
They would have to program that, especially with those cutscenes, because I'm pretty sure, like, if you're face off against, say Harley Quinn with Batgirl there, and then let's say like Nightwing's behind, like, Nightwing would have like his own quips with like, Batgirl's interactions and all, but like, if you had Red Hood there, Red Hood had been like probably been, like trying to get up in her face and all with like Batgirl saying, back off, we're doing this my way, like you'd have to probably program it in. I'm wondering if they didn't do that.
And by the looks of it, it looks like that they're primarily making this a single player focus, as you had mentioned, with the capability of having multiplayer. So that would make sense. But I wish that they had done that there's 4 characters out here. And in fact, I found out later on that there is going to be a 4-player mode. There's going to be a 4-player mode. Now, is it going to be story driven? I don't think so. I think it's going to be one of those like, you guys are heroes, you're fighting the waves that are coming through, and that's pretty much the mode.
Do you think it's going to be like Ghost of Tsushima with the Iki Islands?
Like Legends? It could be. It could be, because I thought the max that they're going to do was 2. But when I was talking to Shao and Keese about it and stuff like that, they actually even says multiplayer mode coming soon, but it's not like actually unlocked. So that makes me pretty excited about that. I was
Hopefully
pleasantly
it's not
surprised.
Like Dragon Age or Mass Effect multi mode. Like hopefully it's not that.
Yeah. I'm not really too sure, but we'll see. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that you can switch out your suits. So I thought that was pretty cool.
They announced that they were gonna have different like suits and stuff.
I honestly I didn't remember that. I don't recall that, but I also didn't realize how many different suits that there were. And on top of that, you can switch out certain style variations depending on what you unlock. You still have to unlock the suit, so there's still that. So you're still earning something. There's also RPG elements to it, so there's like a skill tree and all that, which is definitely pretty cool. And then the combat, I've only been playing as Red Hood. I'm just gonna play the whole thing as Red Hood. And Red Hood's combat for me was something that I had to kind of get accustomed to, but then once you got used to it, it was pretty fun. Michelle and Keese is playing as Nightwing, and he absolutely loves it. And he's all acrobatic and everything like that. In a way, it feels like I'm playing like a multiplayer Spider-Man game. So with that being said, I'm actually a little confused as to why it was so negative with reviews and stuff.
I'm thinking, like I said, what I've seen is basically because the stream I was actually watching, they did a sponsored stream of it, and they was like, it's okay. From what I'm gathering from the people that played it, and the biggest thing is probably they're playing it all single player.
Right.
So from what I'm gathering, it's basically they're saying it's like basically a normal Batman game. Is to be honest, it's from what they're saying is basically it's not the best one, it's not the worst one. It's just it's in the middle somewhere.
Right. It's just another one.
Now I will say this though. Now this is a full there's a couple things. One, you hit it right on the head. I have yet to actually play single player, so I don't know if I'll be feeling this way about the game if I played single player. Because every single time I've been able to play it, we've been able just to go in, do combinations together, literally be like, all right, what's next? What are we doing? Like we had a good time with it. It's not one that I'm like, yo, we got to get back to this. It's not like that, but it is one that I'm like, okay, this is fun. I don't understand why it's getting the hate that it is. The other thing I will also say is I haven't played a Batman game in a very long time, so that could also be another thing. So me playing this multiplayer, because again, that's the thing, is that single player games are typically not really my biggest strong suit unless they have a stellar story to go with it. Final Fantasy VII Remake, God of War 2018, Spider-Man 2018, Miles Morales. Like those types of games, or Horizon, stuff like that. Like those types of games are the games that I will play single player. But if there's a multiplayer option that has thought put into it, then I want to kind of pursue those options first. Because then I could go on an adventure with my buddy, which is one of the reasons why I'm such a huge fan of MMORPGs. So I will say, like, if I had to put a rating on Gotham Knights, I would give it a good 7.5 out of 8, or 7.5 or 8 out of 10. But again, that is me playing multiplayer. I don't know how I'd feel about it if I was playing single player. I can tell you what I would assume what I would put it at. I probably would put it at a 6.57. But me being able to have that banter with my buddy literally over the mic is something that is interesting and compelling for me. So I do like that. So yeah. And before we officially dive inside the news, I do want to throw out here Fantasy Gaming League. 9Ball called it. Illuminatus Living's no longer in last place, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about because we're in the home stretch right now, and I want to throw this out here. First place, still, Carrot Patch Inc. He's holding on with 2 points. Ohio just needs to pick up 2 games. And I don't know if he'll be able to make that happen now.
I dropped. I already seen that thing. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah. So right now, Carrot Patch Inc. has with Mildewy Carrot. For anyone that is watching for the first time ever, first and foremost, why just now? Y'all should have been hip to us since the beginning of the year. But it's okay. We forgive you, and we love you. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to kind of tell you how Fantasy Gaming League works. It's very similar to fantasy football. But instead of being against one person every week, which, by the way, my team really sucked in fantasy football recently because Joe Burrow and the gang just could not pull it out last night. But I digress.
I seen that. Everybody was pissed about that.
Oh, dude, I was pissed. I was heartbroken. I was about to turn off the game and just start playing video games. But I was like, no, I'm a Bengals fan. I'm going to see this through. We're going to suffer together. But how this works is that if there's a game that's out, you're against everybody at the same time, not against one person. And also it's on an annual basis, not a weekly basis. How it works is that there's a 100-point scale with 70 points being the thresholds. Anything that's on Metacritic or OpenCritic that is above 70 points gains you points. Anything that was reviewed and is below 70 points loses you points. So if I have, let's say, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it gets a 89, then that is 19 points above 70, so that gains me 19 points. Anything above that's 90 and above, though, is not only is it going to be points that's going to be added on that, but every point above 90 is going to be doubled. So if it's like in Ohio's case, he has Elden Ring, which got him as a 95. He has 20 points above. He got 20 points above 70, and then he ended up getting another 11 points he ended up getting 31 points. I'm not going to do the math right now because I'm not ready to do that. But ultimately, though, he got every point after 90 got him double points.
You're kind of breaking up.
I'm kind of breaking up to you?
Yeah, you were breaking up there a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it's good for the stream. We'll see.
It was good until you started yelling.
So that's how that works. And then we also have counter picks on there, which is going to mess with the other team's roster. We have in first place, Carrot Patch Inc. He has Gran Turismo 7, 17 points. Tunic, 15 points. Platoon 3, 13 points. Stray, 14 points. Salt and Sacrifice, 5 points. Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp is pending. He has Return to Monkey Island, 17 points. New Tales for the Borderlands got 0 points. It scored exactly 70 right now. And he has a counter pick of Chocobo GP, which is putting him in the lead at 85. Second place, Make Ohio Great Again, Moga, by Ohio. He has Elden Ring, 31 points. Pokemon Legends Arceus, 14 points. Seafood, 10 points. Lego Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, 12 points. Marvel's Midnight Suns, pending. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, 17 points. He has 2 open spots still. I'm not sure if he's going to hit it. And he has a counter pick of Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, which is not coming out this year.
Have you told him about his 2 open spots?
I told him. I tell him weekly. So it's on him if he loses. Surprisingly, started from the bottom. Now we here in third place with Illuminatus Living with LSB Live. He has 56 points with Dying Light 2, Say Human 6 points. Bayonetta 3, 18 points. We're going to talk about that in a minute because that hurts me. Stranger of Paradise Origins, 2 points. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, 16 points. Diablo Immortal, -4. Shovel Knight Dig, 11 points. He has a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet pending. He has an open spot, and he has a counter pick of Saints Row, which got him 7 points. He's sitting at 56, as I mentioned earlier. In fourth place is Zaka Corp. He has Tiny Tina's Wonderland, 8 points. Saints Row, -7 points. Total War, Warhammer 3, 16 points. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, 18 points. Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, pending. Scoring -1 point. Live Alive, 11 points. Star Ocean, The Divine Force, 3 points. He has a counter pick of Marvel's Midnight Suns, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year.
It was hard picking games this year, though.
It really was, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to come out. We'll see. But he's at 49 points, sitting in 4th place. In 5th place is me with ALWT Gaming. I have Horizon Forbidden West, 18 points. Plague Tale Requiem, 14 points. Ghostwire Tokyo, 7 points. Gotham Knights, -1 point. The King of Fighters, 15, 10 points.
It dropped?
Yeah. Marvel Strikers Battle League, 3 points. The Callisto Protocol, pending. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 5 points. And Bayonetta 3, -18 points.
You counterpicked it.
Let that sink in.
I'm surprised you counterpicked.
You thought
Bayonetta 3.
You're like, no. You're like, no, this ain't coming out. It ain't gonna do well. You're like, you can go back and watch the episodes, guys. So he was there talking it up, and Bayonetta came back and with a gun, and she clapped him.
Literally just silent inside the chat. It's not popping up over here, so I have to take a look at that later. But it says Malachi started doing math, and his mic started tuning out. There you go. Yep.
What's up, Silent? How you doing, good sir?
Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. And right now, actually, speaking of Silent, you're sitting currently in last place. Not the end of the world. You're
only 5 points below Malachi, so you've got a chance of kicking him down.
6 points, sir. 6 points.
He's 33 on my end.
Yeah, he's 33. I'm 39.
I see 38 for you.
Yeah. I'm on his show 39.
Refresh.
Renzoku Kid.
He's wrapping up.
You know, let me go ahead. Let me go refresh it. I do want to see this now.
I'm hoping
now it says 38. Yep, now it says 38. That's some trash. I like my odds at 39.
And Gotham Knights.
Yes, Gotham Knights is still at -1. It hasn't dropped for
-1.
It might go to -2 if you lose a point.
You hush. All right, I don't want you to talk about this. God of War Ragnarok has his pending. Triangle Strategy, 13 points. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, not coming out this year. Chocobo GP, -5 points. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, 15 points. Metroid Prime 4, pending. Digimon Survive, 6 points. Slime Rancher 2 is not coming out this year. And he has a counter pick of Diablo Immortal, which got him 4 points, and he's sitting right now in last place with 33. But don't make that play. Don't stay there too long, because apparently it looks like I'm going to be taking that spot soon. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, now we are 36 minutes in, and we're getting on over to story number 1. With starting off with PlayStation 5's wins and struggles. Eddie Makuch from GameSpot says this in the article. Sony has released its latest earnings briefing, shining a light on how the PS5's PlayStation business is performing. During Sony's fiscal year 2022 quarter 2, the company has shipped 3.3 million PlayStation 5 units to help the platform reach 25 million units shipped to date. Sony has sold 62.5 million games, including 6.7 million first-party titles. The majority of those games sold 63% were digital. Sony ended the period with 45.4 million PlayStation Plus subscribers, which is down about 2 million year over year. Sony has reported that 102 million monthly active users and decreased from 104 million monthly active users during the same period last year. While PlayStation Plus memberships declined compared to last year, Sony's gaming division saw its total revenue rise by 10% to 116 billion won, or yen, that's yen, according to the VGC. The new PlayStation Plus revamp introduced new, more expensive subscriptions offerings, and these results seem to suggest Sony's strategy of making more money per paying user is working out. Sony's CFO Hiroki Totoki commented on the PlayStation Plus PlayStation results, saying, "quote More people are now going outdoors, and we have yet to get out of the negative cycles." End quote. As reported by BGC. He added, "PS4 and third-party software sales have also been rather sluggish, and sales of the catalog titles have been also declining." End quote. End story. So, I'll start it off, since you guys like to label me as a Sony pony anyway. I think...
You started that. I'm sorry.
I think the PS5 sales increasing, that's great. Like the actual consoles itself increasing is fantastic. Getting more PS5s in the wild for people that want to actually have one, upgrade from the PS4 to the PS5, and be able to enjoy that next level experience. We over here at ALWT Gaming have already been thriving in that pretty much since launch, or at least right around launch. Agreed? So that's great. The PlayStation Plus subscription drop, that's obviously something that is concerning to a point. I don't, because a lot of people, one of the things that this article didn't really point out there, but a lot of people try to pinpoint on is saying it's all because they're doing their 3-tier service. I don't buy that one bit. One of the reasons why is because the Essential, which is what PlayStation Plus was before, had not changed. It hadn't changed. If you want to have the same 3 free games every month with the access to the online play capabilities, it's still there at the same price point. So I don't understand why that's a title. We're saying PlayStation loses 2 million subscribers after the revamped. No, they just lost 2 million subscribers. Period. That's what that is. I don't know if going outside is really the. I don't know if going outside is really the reasoning behind this. It might just because it's getting around the holidays and people don't want to renew. They want to go ahead and buy gifts for their loved ones. You know what I mean? They might have to go out traveling for Thanksgiving if they celebrate, or for Kwanzaa if they celebrate, or for Christmas or New Year's or whatever. So they're probably pre-planning for stuff like that, or buying gifts for Christmas. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. Or it could even be like what I'm doing is I'm waiting to see if there's going to be a November price deduction, like a Black Friday sale for PlayStation Plus subscriptions. Because historically, they would always do that for PlayStation Plus. It would be cheaper by like $20, maybe even sometimes be down to $30 for the year. So it's a good time to go ahead and do that. And if they decide to do that with their premium product, the premium level, instead of it being 120, if it's like $90, I would definitely take that deal. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see. But yeah, I just don't understand why people are like, because of the revamp, they lost 2 million subscribers. No, they just lost 2 million subscribers because they lost 2 million subscribers. I don't think it has anything to do with the revamp because, again, the lowest tier has not changed. If anything, it's just giving you more option and variety to choose from if you wanted to upgrade to extra and have access to these, or upgrade to premium and have access to this. So that's my thoughts about it. Mildewy?
I mean, it's good that they're getting the sales up for the systems. You know, so that means that they're getting a lot out there. You know, more people are getting online, which is cool. That's what we want to see. You know, we want those numbers out there. We want that, you know, capability of more people playing on the system. So increase the community, increase it all. The drop in subscribers, I mean, if you look at the numbers, guys, that's like what, like 0.2% or something. Like you're like, oh, we only have 102 million versus 104 million from last year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's we're like, but that's a 2 million drop. I'm like, you gotta look at it in the larger set of the number, though. It's like, it's only 2 million in terms of their normal annual of like 100. You know, they're still within the 100 millions. You know, it's not like, you know, they went down from like 104 million down to 80 million. You know, at that point you're like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? You know.
Right.
Now, granted, does this mean that you don't look at it and say, all right, what's the reasoning? No, of course not. The reason I find it funny. Most people are now going outdoors. I'm like, yes, I can see a lot more people kind of going outdoors because a lot of restrictions have been released or not.
But I'm talk about this.
But I don't think that's why PlayStation players and gamers drop subscriptions.
Agreed.
I've been hearing from people, you know, who've been having issues with, you know, with monetary issues, like they just can't afford with all because look how many subscriptions are out there, guys. You've got Xbox, PlayStation, you got your Netflix, High Dive, Crunchyroll if you do that stuff. You've got Hulu, you got Paramounts, you've got I'm like there's probably like 10 or 12 that I'm missing that people are subscribing to try and watch their shows and have their stuff, Not only that, gas prices are going up and down, along the legs, like you have no idea. Food prices are along the same ways too, at least here in the US where we're at. I've been seeing them kind of just going really wally Wonka. So I'm like, there's a lot of other factors in there, and now what I'm also kind of curious about, and I think this is the case because they don't specify, but like it's 102 million monthly. I'm pretty sure that's worldwide. Like I would think that would be worldwide and not just the US, right?
Yeah.
So like we gotta look at events in the world, like what's going on elsewhere. Like I only know about really what's happening here within the US and we got the situations like with Ukraine and all that, but it's like I don't know what's happening like too much in terms of like what's going on like down in South America, up in Canada, in Britain, Spain, like where these other gamers are. Like, you would have to diversify that 2 million to see where's the biggest drop off at, So and that's going into more business economics than you guys all probably want to hear, but I'm not concerned as of yet. I kind of feel like, this is going to be expected to see some drops with people trying to save up money, trying to, do things, or maybe you got like 3 PlayStations in the same house and you'll just want to play it on one, versus on 3 different ones. So there's so many factors in there that I'm not going to really start sweating until I start seeing next month they're like, well, we just lost another 5. Then be like, okay, now let's look into that, So
honestly, if anything, I'm right there. I'm all everything you just said. I can echo for sure. And actually, you even bring up an interesting point. And this might be a stretch, but I wonder too how many of those PlayStation subscriptions were from Russia. You know what I mean? Because like I know that they're cut off from a lot of things right now because Russia's just kind of being poops for you with Ukraine. So there might be some people that's just like, well, if I can't play Gran Turismo 7, if I can't have access to X, Y, and Z, might as well not even have Plus until this whole crap gets situated. So I'm right there with you. Nine Ball, what are your thoughts about all this?
This is supposed to happen. So generally, if you watch, like I watch quite a bit of things about free to play games, success. I like it's brought up millions of times before. I watch like YouTube channels like Gamer or Nerd Slayer, and they talk about free to play games. Most of the time, when something's new, you're going to get a mass number because mass people are going to try it out. Now, of that mass number, most of them will, quite a few of them may actually drop off. And this is to be expected. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. If it's a constant drop, yeah. The only other thing I can attribute it to is the economy. And like I've brought up a million times, of the two, you will want Xboxes more than PlayStations because of the sheer deluge of games you're going to get from Xbox in comparison to PlayStation right now. Like I said, the two between the two, you're going to take, like I said, you're going to take Xbox, but like I said, PlayStation's, it's not entirely bad. I don't really use it as much, but for me, it's not entirely bad. It's just I did mine on a yearly scale. And the only other thing, like I said earlier, is the cost. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around, but the cost is also could be a thing. Right now, like you brought about current events, the price of groceries and stuff has been, going up.
Yeah.
Like quite a bit.
Normally you could get a can of tuna for like, beforehand, like 60, 70 cents. And that's when they're like 70 cents is like, oh, we just want a bit more. Now you're like almost to $1 for like one of those small cans of tunas. It's like, what the heck is going on here? But I'm like,
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, I feel like, economy is kind of playing into this because, like I said, I've heard from people who've had monetary issues and with not just buying food, but paying rent, paying car bills. So a lot of times they've had to cancel the subscriptions and they can't get back on until way later. So yeah, you're gonna start seeing that. And that's why I was curious about this thing is like, is this worldwide? Because if so, I would want to see a breakdown of not to be like pointing fingers, going, "Oh, we're better than this." I'm just kind of curious, where is the biggest drop off at?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, like, I would also say, so first and foremost, for anyone that's listening right now, just to reiterate, and also just to make it clear, you don't have to have PlayStation Plus in order to play free to play games. You don't. The only time you need to have PlayStation Plus is for games that you have to actually buy that's not free. So like Fortnite, if you didn't have Plus, you can still play without Plus. Same thing for Apex Legends. Same thing for Warframe, Warzone. All those games are truly free to play. You don't have to have a subscription service to play those. What Nineball was referencing was more or less just like if something's new, it's going to kind of be up there. All that good stuff is going to be good, and then people are going to fall off eventually.
It happens for most of those games. Like you mentioned, Fortnite knows.
Yeah.
They generally will start like most things I've seen. Like even when I watch like Death of a Game, they go into that. Like such and such a game may have 10 million subscribers, 5 million subscribers, and then they'll lose like in the first month they'll lose like one 500,000 to a million, a drop off. They may just leave the game. They gave it a shot. They didn't really like it, and just went about their business.
Exactly.
What you don't want to see is a continuous drop. Like most of these games that died, even like Spellbreak, when I was watching like Death of a Game on Spellbreak and Arcade and those styles, when they started a continuous dip, you don't want to see like month after month of continuous. Like I think Netflix is currently having that issue right now of having like continuous drops.
Yeah, but they're just making dumb decisions right now. like,
Yeah, but
that's how some of these other games fell too. Is they're just like,
yeah.
oh, this is the best idea ever, and the consumer's just like, you think so?
Well, but here's the thing though, is that like Netflix is like, I know we always talk about pro consumer and anti consumer and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, every company is pro business. That's what they are. They're looking to make money. But the moves that Netflix is making right now, the move that Netflix is making right now truly feels anti-consumer. Like they're going to go ahead and have try to limit how many people is on an account. Try to do all these certain things to try to stop you from sharing your account or from doing XYZ. So it's just like it really feels like they're doing very anti-consumer stuff. Hi, Kai. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Malachi's just got home with Janae. So.
Aww.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's for PlayStation. It's more of a positive thing overall. The only thing about their subscription and makes it even hurt harder. And one thing that makes Xbox say Malachi.
What's up, Malachi?
Say hi, everyone. Let's see. Go ahead and what were you saying there, Nineball?
All right. The thing that makes PlayStation's hurt more is the fact that you also have to have the PlayStation 5 for the appropriate game than PlayStation 4. Xbox has turned theirs, and this is probably why Xbox is doing well. Well, is primary reason. You don't need per se a console, and it makes it a much more tantalizing deal. And they lose a lot more. They lose a lot less in the overall scheme of things. Like I've said a million times over, when you make a console, you almost always make a console at a loss. They lose money when they make, ship, and do consoles. You make up the money and the difference in video games and sales of the software of stuff for that console. The controllers, extra controllers, headsets. I don't know about PlayStation VR. I don't know if that's going to really make money. But some of the games that may come out for it, stuff like that, you will make money from endorsement deals, stuff like that. And because of which Xbox doesn't really have a console. When Xbox, let me rephrase that. They have a console, They just don't emphasize the console.
Wait, I thought they sold a table leg. You know, something just to hold up my coffee table.
No, it's a refrigerator. It's downstairs in my kitchen. And, but
I thought you were gonna say it's next to your PlayStation, holding your Kool-Aid.
oh God, no. Oh God, it's got it.
I will say, and then also you mentioned something about the cost, and I'll say this before we go on over to story number 2, because it actually is an Xbox update. So I will say, like, yeah, obviously Xbox is doing better, like, and they've had time to develop into what they are now for Game Pass. One thing though that's very interesting is that when people think about it, they're like, I could do $15 a month. I can't do $120 a year. But when you think about that on an annual basis, you're like, what is $15 a month for a year? Like, that is like double the price of $120 for an annual subscription.
Well, it's that, and also most people, like I brought up earlier, is about the control, having a console itself.
Yeah,
you don't really need. It's basically, in order for my son to, let's say, play a game like, here, throw me a PlayStation 5 game. The
remake.
Horizon.
Horizon West.
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 Horizon Forbidden West. On the new PlayStation 5, you have to have a PlayStation 5. Xbox isn't touting that. Here, just get it on whatever. If you have a PC, play it on PC. We'll put it on smart TV. So if you buy a smart TV, you can just go ahead and just get that for your son too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a 2-for-1 deal.
You cooking dinner, you can play the Angry Birds right there on your fridge, you know.
Yep.
Or Skyrim.
Yeah, that too.
That is factual. That is factual.
Fusro daw that, you know, ribs to oblivion.
Speaking of Xbox story number 2 is talking about Xbox is not making Call of Duty exclusive ... yet. Darren Bonthis from GameSpot says this in an article. Microsoft's planned acquisition of Activision Blizzard has been met with some resistance, while various regulatory groups across the world have analyzed it as an anti-competitive element, with Sony being one of the loudest voices in the room. The home of PlayStation has criticized as being potentially harmful to its business, but Microsoft's head of gaming, Phil Spencer, has once again dismissed the idea of Call of Duty will become an Xbox console exclusive. We're not taking Call of Duty from PlayStation, Spencer said on the same Brain video cast. The section is highlighted in the tweet of The Verge's Tom Warner below, and that's on their site. Our intent is not to do that, and as long as there is a PlayStation out there to ship to, our intent is that we continue to shoot Call of Duty on PlayStation, similar to what we've done with Minecraft. I'm going to keep going. We've expanded the places that people can play Minecraft, and we haven't reduced the places. So, I do want to start this one again, because here's the thing. A couple things. One, I said it before. Paris Lilly said it first. I've said it. I've echoed him. 9Ball, you've echoed this too as well. You don't spend that type of money on an acquisition to keep things the same. You don't. I mean, this is good that he's saying this, and if this is true, then that's awesome for people that are really into Call of Duty and stuff. I personally do not believe him. I don't believe him. I do think that eventually, like, I think right now, I think they're not saying that, I don't think they're saying anything in particular that's going to jeopardize them acquiring Activision Blizzard, because that's still being reviewed. That still hasn't been closed yet. It hasn't been confirmed. So I feel like I'm usually like, well, we're going to keep it on PlayStation right now. If he said something like that, then that could be ammunition. Like, oh, he's saying right now, what does that going to look like in the next 5 years? You know what I mean? So there's that. 2, you're going to compare Minecraft to Call of Duty. Like,
Minecraft is huge. I wouldn't say Minecraft is actually pretty huge.
Yeah. I was about to say, I know that Minecraft is huge for sure, obviously, but Minecraft was already off of platforms and then came over to PlayStation. It didn't already live at PlayStation, and then has the potential of leaving for good. So that's what I'm getting at, is that like these are two entirely different things, two entirely different audiences, and honestly, obviously Minecraft is really big, but I would argue that Call of Duty might be the biggest game, literally in the world. Like like the biggest franchise, I should say, in the world. And so you're taking that, you're potentially taking that off the table. And even if you didn't take that off the table, it is one of those things like, oh, Sony, don't piss us off, because if you do, pluck, you don't get it anymore. They would have the capability of being able to do that. That's where I'm like, I don't believe you. And that particular acquisition doesn't seem to be entirely right for people that really adored Call of Duty. Me, I'm indifferent about it. I really don't care. Like, I'll play Call of Duty here and there, but I'm not a Call of Duty head whatsoever. But yeah, but as far as Phil Spencer, as much as, because I think that what they're doing right now, what Xbox is really heavily doing, is playing that whole pro consumer look and saying that they're not going to take this video game away from PlayStation players. That looks very pro consumer. I don't believe that it's going to stick. I do think that eventually they're going to be like, all right, well, the next Call of Duty, Xbox exclusive. I really do think that's going to happen. It may not happen next year. It's not going to happen the year after that, because whatever contract that PlayStation has with Activision is going to be in effect. They're honoring that. That was something that they said earlier, that they're honoring that particular contract, which is also kind of giving me ammunition to think that that's the reason why I don't think that he's telling the truth. Because I don't think you would say that if you didn't have plans in the future of making the future franchise exclusively on Xbox, let alone Game Pass. No, Nigel, we go with you this time.
All right. Well, I think PlayStation's just been salty. I've been reading this for a little while now, and I've been keeping an eye on it. Yeah, PlayStation. This was going to happen if you pick up a $64 billion contract. Right now, they're not. They may not even have to. To be honest, they're worried about one game. And I know it's one of the biggest shooters, but really, Call of Duty is not been doing so well. It has a huge fan base, but to be honest, even if they pull it, they have the right to. I don't know if they do anymore. If they're saying they're not making it exclusive, they can get that in writing or something and have them sign a contract to that, and they're probably going to do that before they actually allow it to go through. They probably won't be able to. But my thing is, to be honest, this whole thing, it's basically been Sony whining the most, and I've been watching like the fan bases of both consoles just argue over it. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. I guess because I'm a PC gamer, and we just sit down and we watch this stuff and laugh at it because it's the whole Call of Duty thing to me is like with you. I don't really play shooters. I'm not a huge at a shooters go. I don't really play a lot of Call. I didn't even have the new Call of Duty. They might do it. They might actually leave it because again, when you think about what Microsoft's plan is, it makes sense to leave it on PlayStation. Again, they're not competing with them in that sense. Sony fans are still thinking about consoles and going, "Oh no, they're gonna come out the next console." Microsoft's not even on consoles no more. It's about Game Pass.
I mean, they are, but yeah, their main focus is Game Pass, like you just said.
The console is really just a side offering. You want a new console to, so you can play it on the greatest gadget. There you go. But I feel like with that one, really, they won't Game Pass on Sony. I feel like that would be probably the bigger play here, and Call of Duty would stay.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like, I mean, like you said, their main focus is Game Pass. I think that hell would freeze over 13 times before that would actually happen.
You'd be surprised. I watched the whole video. Microsoft is super aggressive. This is not the first time they've been to court. I watched the whole video on them. Microsoft constantly gets in trouble for anti-monopoly causes things. Because when they move into an area and commit resources like this, they go straight for the takeover. They don't play the little, games like Nintendo and them do. They're going to go straight for the big. They're going straight for the big. That's the reason why they picked up them, and that's the reason why also, I know it's not in our story, but they're also increasing the price of Game Pass that's going on.
Yeah, I did see that too as well. But they said that they may have to change the price of Game Pass. It's not confirmed.
It probably will go up. There's no surprise.
They're just saying subscriptions like that, it's inevitable that would have to increase. But as of right now, it's just going to be what it is.
Well, I'm more worried about. Well, not really worried. I really don't care either way. But I'm really more or less looking at, will this go through? Sony has been in that conference room for almost the entire time from this started till it ends. And to be honest, they have been fighting diligently to stop it. And to be honest, I don't even know if that's the best choice.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, and this is one of the reasons why I get where they're coming from, is because what it is that if this goes through, and pretend that Phil Spencer does go ahead and keep future Call of Duties on there, then sales for PlayStation is going to take a hit regardless. It's going to take a hit because people are just like, oh, well, I can go ahead and buy Call of Duty on PlayStation for $70, or it's already included in Game Pass. Let me just go ahead and do that. So it's just like either $15 for a month or $70 and I have the game, but it's forever going to be on Game Pass. So that $15 a month is literally just $15 a month. It's not just for one game either. It's for the access of all the games, very Netflix style. So I get why they're doing this, because at that point, it's just like, well, what's the point of buying it on PlayStation 5 if I could just have it on Xbox Game Pass?
But that's the thing about Xbox and competition. They're supposed to be competing, and they're going to compete. And when Xbox puts in guns to compete, they compete, go big and hard in the paint. The reason why I'm kind of worried is how Xbox has been moving. So this probably means that even though we're looking at this, Xbox has got a plan B, and I'm betting it's probably EA. It could be. I mean, think about it. A $70 billion deal went through, and nobody knew till the day it happened. Like, most of the time, you'll hear rumors or something about it before it happened. I mean, even when Activision was dropping, the only thing came out of Xbox's mouth is, we're monitoring the situation. And then you just didn't hear nothing. And then out of the blue, well, we just bought the whole company, so monitor complete.
Well, we put an offer for the whole company,
yeah. But Xbox has always been that style. As for Call of Duty, like you said, with that in mind, it could stay. I mean, yeah, 70, or you get it for free over here. But it's what they're for. The PlayStation will take a hit, but it's far from over. The PlayStation's biggest consumers is generally in Japan, and this is where Xbox has always had the hardest time getting in. This is why we ended up in like games like Lost Odyssey and stuff by Tri-Ace, Square Enix, and all them, because they was trying to get Japanese developers to make games for Xbox at the time so they could get in the Japanese market. They really have not broke through. PlayStation will be fine. Well, I think overall it'll be fine. And not to mention, they have a very solid main roster of games. Overall, I mean, when I'm reading this, I'm seeing the arguments, and I'm constantly seeing them. Most of them, like I said, I'm looking at Polygon, and you see them on Polygon, GameSpot. PlayStation has been going at them and at them, saying this is unfair. This is, oh my god, they are whining about it the whole time. Like you said, you see kind of where they're coming from, but I have a feeling this might go through.
Yeah, and it probably will at the end of the day because if the FTC can make some money from it, then I think that they'll be fine with it. But at the same time, it is very. I don't know exactly how that's going to all look. I don't know how it's going to work. I still think that's going to end up going through. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't go through, like I also wouldn't be surprised. The only thing I personally kind of care about is that if it goes through, I kind of want them to see. I want to see if they're going to put World of Warcraft on Game Pass.
I've been hearing about that.
I would like for them to kind of do that because if they do, then I'll be back on World of Warcraft much more because I'm already embedded inside Call of Duty. I mean, I'm already embedded inside Game Pass right now. I just don't want to do the extra 15 for something that I don't play a whole lot of already. You know what I mean? But if it's included in Game Pass, I'll play it more.
But yeah, I do think it's going to go through. I do believe what's going to happen afterwards with the fallout of this will be basically the FTC will finally update and make more rules. One of the biggest problems with the FTC is it is outdated.
Mm.
The FTC,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, most of their rules. I was reading about that. Most of the FTC's rules are completely outdated, and they really need to update a lot of that stuff. This may be the push. After this goes through, they may do more rules to basically stop something like this from happening again. They can't make rules now against it because it's what is that ex post facto, which is basically after the fact. You're not allowed to like if you made let's say weed was legal in Colorado and they ban it at 12 o'clock and you're smoking it before noon at the police station. The police can't all of a sudden just arrest you because you've already had it before. But well, I don't know about that, but it's just don't do it if that happens. But this is actually, I mean, this is probably one of the biggest gaming news of the year.
Yeah.
It's been so much about this, and I feel like it's more games on the docket though that are more important. Call of Duty to me, and maybe it's me, but to me personally, Call of Duty is not the reason why I'm having a problem with this. Call of Duty is not the biggest game on the docket. If you've been looking at the scores or checking out the things lately on Call of Duty have not been doing good.
Yeah, but also part of that is because of one of how they've been treating Call of Duty, which again is how they've been treating FIFA, how they've been treating Madden, how they've been treating stuff like that. Like it's an annual thing versus letting it breathe a little bit.
Well, that will probably stop, and this is why you get underneath these
they said
umbrellas.
It will stop.
Yeah, because the reason why third-party companies will do that and they ditch certain games is because it didn't make them enough money.
Right.
Money is what keeps the building going around, and the third-party developers, like the little third parties, they don't have, Big Daddy watching over them and saying, "You okay, son? Yeah, I need some more money. I'm having a problem." That's okay, son. I got you covered. He pays the bills for them. Just keep going. I got you covered. Third-party developers don't have that. It's basically you versus the world at this point.
Make money or bust.
With an umbrella, they may be able to, maybe not release a Call of Duty annually. Well, like you said, they're not probably not going to do that. But one of the advantages is basically they may go revisit older games that they may have skipped over because they didn't make money initially.
That is also confirmed too as well. Phil Spencer himself was saying that there's some games that he remembered back in the day that he would play that he wants to bring back to and have Activision and / Blizzard work on. So there's definitely gonna be that. I want to throw out there. I know I already answered it through the ALWT gaming chat itself, but throwing it out there for the audio listeners. Muzzy Muhizi says, "Do you think that they would have had to pay double for membership if it gets on Game Pass?" Talking about talk about World of Warcraft. I don't think so. I think that if they put it on Game Pass, has another thing in there too as well. But yeah, he says I think if they put it on Game Pass, it's going to officially be like included. I don't think it's going to be like having a double dip or anything like that. The most I would see this happening is if they put it on Game Pass after they increase the Game Pass prices. That's the only other way I can potentially see that happening. But other than that, if it was to be how it is right now, I think that they would either put it on Game Pass and it'll be included on that at no additional charge, or they just don't put it on Game Pass at all. Muhizi also says, I was wondering because it just seems like, wow, the game would be losing money, which I don't see making any beneficial. No. Well, here's the thing. The game itself, like, it would be underneath, again, kind of back to Xbox. It would be underneath Xbox, and what Xbox cares about right now is Game Pass. So, yeah, the game would be technically, because all the games that's on Game Pass right now technically would be losing money for at a certain degree. But what's happening is that Xbox themselves are being like, hey, we'll pay you this much money to put it on Game Pass. So even if it doesn't hit this certain threshold that we would like it to hit, you still made $700 million. You still made $500 million or whatever the case is. And then on top of that, you do have DLCs that will be added on there that they don't have to include on Game Pass. They can make money additionally that way. Go ahead, then, Eyeball.
It's another thing too. It's one big thing about Xbox that a lot of people don't think about is that Xbox themselves accounts for probably less than 1% of Microsoft's entire revenue. It's basically, when I actually show the breakdown, I believe, it was in the other category. So them losing money on World of Warcraft, it's not going to affect them at all.
Yeah.
They probably won't even notice. I mean, to be honest, Daddy Gates probably doesn't even know that Phil Spencer is using his credit card yet.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of like saying you lost like, $1 million out of 1.5 trillion, unless you're an accountant, that's not even scratching the bucket.
Yeah. Even if you are an accountant, that's still not scratching the bucket.
That's like me. It's like having Malachi Jr. come up to me saying, "Can I have $1?" And be like, "Sure, kid, here." It's pretty much what it is.
It's like a millionaire dropping a penny.
Yeah.
Do anything, they're going to stop and get it.
Mm-hmm. But again, like as we were mentioning before, as long as it brings gamers to Game Pass, that's what Xbox cares about. That's their main MO. That's what they want to go ahead and focus on.
Yeah, the only bad thing about this is, though, and I'm going to stop on this one, is it's created a different market. I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about this, too. Is that a lot of these smaller companies are getting quickly gobbled up.
Yeah.
Because everybody's scared of the thing. PlayStation has been aggressively buying companies. What other? I think another company.
Embracer Group. Yeah, we're about to talk that in a minute.
Yep. Embracer Group.
Yeah,
They're about to hit that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Before we move on over to the next story, Mildew, me and Nineball have been doing a lot of talking. Do you have any commentary on this particular subject?
Well, as I would like to say, in my own professional and educated opinion, upon the situation based on the current economic situation and crisis going on with the current runs of Xbox buying, consuming, and distributing, said own games, stating that they will not in any way, redact this from PlayStation at all, just tells me that they really don't give a shit. Actually, like literally, I feel like they're like, no, we're not going to take away because I'm like, they don't care. They're like, sure, whatever. You can have some people on PlayStation playing the game too. Our Xboxers will go online and kick their asses. It's like, cross-play this bitch. Sorry. Yeah, literally, like you guys have pretty much been talking up a lot of it. With all the past stuff, you guys can watch past episodes with, especially with our talk week when Xbox was doing the big buys and all, and the trade commission was like, excuse me, you do it what now?
The trade commission's really got to start. They was talking about that.
Oh, they didn't think they had to do anything. They didn't think they had to do anything until Xbox did this, and they're like, Can he do that? Should he be allowed to do that?
That
he's doing that. Shit,
They just realized that Facebook and Instagram together might be an issue.
Oh, mine.
That's been over 10 years. Like, oh God, how did this get lost? It's like it got stuck underneath the papers somewhere.
That's because they're still using Nintendo's old fax machines that they just updated.
But yeah, they're gonna have to. A lot of people talk about that. FTC's really have to up their A game here because this can't keep happening.
No,
yeah,
because Microsoft will test the market again. They're gonna try again. Microsoft does this constantly. They're gonna end up in court again and get probably divided again, and somehow rebuy themselves again.
Yeah, they definitely need something on there. But you guys pretty much said a lot of the stuff. Just Xbox will do what they're going to do. Like this one, they probably won't. The next one, they most definitely probably will. Xbox, Microsoft, they're just going to do what they're going to do. They probably don't see a loss in having on PlayStation, so they looked at this one and like, it's not a loss. And they're like, oh, well, we didn't do that for Minecraft. It's like Minecraft was like X amount of years on PC straight before the guy sold it to before he sold Mahjong over to Xbox and Microsoft.
$2 billion, right?
Yes, and even then, it's like you have so many people playing the game still that you're talking about a large community that you would have been cutting off at the point. So that makes no sense to just cut them off. What they're probably trying to say. They're probably trying to say is that Call of Duty has got such a large community too, and I'm like, yeah, but on what system though? And not only this, but it's like I got to point this out too here. Minecraft is more current on PC than it is on PlayStation and Xbox and tablet. Minecraft is not a straight version game across all platforms. It's not. They are behind on phones and tablets, comparative to PlayStation and Xbox. Like by the time we got horses on PC, I think they were just getting like some basic stuff on PlayStation and Xbox. Like literally they are that far behind. So I really also don't find that comparison too well either of like, they're like, oh, well, Call of Duty is just like Minecraft. I'm like, no, Call of Duty has been straight across the board because of it's got multiplayer and crossplay capabilities. At least as far as I've seen, it has. And not only that, but it's like I remember Call of Duty mainly coming out on Xbox and then going to PlayStation. Does anyone remember that too, or am I remembering that?
No, I slightly remember the commercials on that. Like I remember the commercial, but I don't remember exactly if it was just featured only on Xbox at first. But again, we're talking at a time period where it's a partnership versus an acquisition. So they were a third party. No one owned them. There was no big party that owned them. It literally was like, hey, Xbox has the marketing rights. And then he eventually switched to where PlayStation has the marketing rights. PlayStation, again, when you think of Call of Duty, you think of PlayStation because of the marketing rights for that. But PlayStation didn't be like, hey, we're going to have you be not only you're not able to be on Xbox. But then
I see more of Call of Duty as more of an Xbox thing because it goes back to that old debate of like Xbox was mainly at the starting point of its life was a first-person shooter-based system. Mm-hmm. Sony was an RPG. Nintendo was Mario and family-friendly. As much as jumping on Koopa's head can be considered family-friendly and throwing shells at them, that's a whole other story. But the fact that everyone's just like, they're gonna take it away from PlayStation. I'm like, I don't think PlayStation really had that huge of a community on there.
Well,
probably not until you hit 4 and 5.
They had a major, that's what. Well, now going back to what you're saying.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was about to say, I just did a quick little Google search. It does show that in 2003 it first showed up on Xbox, so you are definitely correct about that. But I will say, in fast forwarding to modern times, I would 100% say that when you think of Call of Duty now, you do think of PlayStation. They're even the betas for the last 4 or 5 games. When they would like when they would have a beta come out for it, it would be first on PlayStation, and then it would be available for everybody later on.
Well, here goes another issue too, and I didn't even think about it till recently. Well, 2 things. First off, Minecraft I'm going back to Minecraft real quick, and the comparison is totally different. Minecraft, you can't even consider a game no more. Minecraft is more of a software building phenomenon thing, to where I've seen college projects, even universities, and they even do like buildings and stuff of like architects of buildings and stuff before they build them sometimes on Minecraft.
Minecraft
And
is so
so
easily moddable that
yeah,
it's pretty much no longer a game; it's a sandbox. Is what it
yeah.
is now.
And the other thing with Call of Duty is, and it's something big, and I didn't even think about it till now, is the competitive market.
Mm-hmm.
Call of Duty now has an esport behind it.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot about it because I don't really pay that with no attention. Normally, I do like League of Legends. I might watch some Smite Pro League, and of course, the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments I'll generally watch. Um, but I keep forgetting like games like that. CS:GO is real popular. Call of Duty is, of course, one of those in the runnings for that. And it's very important that you keep those going. Some people do play, even though they preferably most time when they play those, they play them on PC. You might play it on your console, and it might be the console you prefer. It might be playing it on PlayStation, and I feel like you should still have that option. So I feel like because of it being an esport style game like that, I feel like it needs to remain on PlayStation. And with that, yeah, I feel like they're gonna do it. Like I feel like Phil Spencer is going to, for the most part, stay true to his word and go ahead and keep it on PlayStation. This was already though talked about. I was just looking that up a while back. They have reiterated before the way they say, yeah, we're keeping it on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
That's not changing. So as long as they keep that going, I feel like that's one of the biggest arguments. I feel like they should be overall fine. Like I said before, with Microsoft, get it in writing, get some kind of contract, ink it in there before you go through. Like, play. And I'm betting before that gets inked, PlayStation's going to be in that room.
Yeah, 100%.
I
And
can almost
we're
100.
gonna.
We can't hear you at all.
You guys can't hear me.
Now I
Okay, we can
can.
hear you near.
Okay. All right. I was about to say, I'm going to go ahead and read off Moosey's question real fast. Still talking about World of Warcraft. But then I guess it seems like that they aren't going to plan on spending as much money into individual games. So don't you think the WoW will take a dive? Sorry, last question. First and foremost, you can ask as many questions as you want. We're probably going to speed through the rest of the show because
Yeah,
we got like 4 minutes left. But don't ever apologize for asking questions. This is what we're here
yeah,
for. We
yeah.
appreciate you, fam. We appreciate you.
We love the
Second thing,
interaction.
second thing is I again like kind of going back to it. If Microsoft wasn't the one that's backing Xbox, then I would think that I have a concern. But I also don't think that would allow Microsoft to do what they're doing with Game Pass and everything like that to the degree that they're doing it on. With that being said, I still think that there's going to pour money into if they put it on Game Pass, I think that they're still going to pour money into WoW. I think that it would still be kind of one of those things where like the base game of it is free, but if you want to get Wrath of the Lich King, if you wanted to get what was it, the blood,
Dragonflight.
it's Dragonflight.
Dragonflight's the new. That's the latest one coming out.
Yeah, if you wanted to get those DLCs, you might have to pay for those DLCs. But as far as the base game itself, I think I can see something like that being free, and yeah, just being a never ending thing. Like because they do have Bill Gates behind all of this, so they'll be able to literally just dip inside the money and just be able to keep pumping it into there as long as they're making money from Game Pass because
And
that's where
let
they're getting
alone
their money
too,
from.
that's going to be a huge selling point. As
Mm,
MMOs go, I mean, yeah, right now, I think 14 is above World of Warcraft, but World of Warcraft is still considered one of the kings of MMO. I
mm.
wouldn't dare just throw that to the wayside. If you can pump money and revitalize that and even give it at, I'm hoping free, but even at a discount, you would draw so many people back to WoW to give it another go. And with the
So,
WoW team, yeah,
well, I was going to say so throwing it out right now. This was updated. Well, no, that's old. This one's October 5th. So from well-known MMORPGs niche titles, here are the best MMORPGs in the MMOs to download in 2022. In first place is Final Fantasy 14. In second place is World of Warcraft. And then Elder Scrolls, New World, Black Desert, Guild Wars 2, and then it goes on from there. So that is, yeah. So with that, like continue on with your statement as far as that going on for the MMO still being ahead.
Yeah, it's one of the kings. It will be a huge seller. If they release that for free, you will skyrocket, and I almost guarantee it will jump back up to first place because people will be willing to get on there and give it a go.
Yeah,
and and it would drive Game Pass up
1,000%. And that's again, that's where they want to make their money from is Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then just imagine if they make their money from Game Pass, if you already have a subscription, right, to Game Pass, and then they decide to go ahead and increase it by another $3 to $4, $3 to $5, then you might have some people that will get out of Game Pass because they don't like the price increase. But you're still going to have a lot of people that's going to be paying that increased amount just because of either sheer laziness or they still find value in the content, or they might even just overall forget about it. They're just paying this money monthly. So it's just one of those things where they're likely going to make the most money if they were to go ahead and try to put on Game Pass. Muhizi says, "Okay, I guess I couldn't see that. I guess I could see that. It's just going from a dedicated team that's solely focused on one game to having it be part of an umbrella, if you will, is just crazy. And that's the thing. I don't think they're going to take it away from that team. I think that team is still going to focus on World of Warcraft because those guys, they're not being fired necessarily. They're just going underneath. They're not going to be underneath Bobby Kotick
everybody, from what I'm gathering, they're not firing them. They're basically just bringing them underneath Microsoft in general.
Yeah, so they're not like cash cow is going to keep going. Yeah, that cash cow is going to keep going. The only person I can see getting fired is Bobby Kotick, who sucks.
He's not fired. They basically giving.
They're going to let him retire. Yeah, they're going to let him retire.
Kicking him out because it's probably easier to do. And the sad part about it is, it's easier to do that than try to take him to court and stuff.
Yeah, because he'll fight it. So it's just like either you give him a paycheck and he's happy with that and he agrees to it and walks away happy even though he doesn't deserve it, or you fire him and then he tries to sue you for everything that you have and all that good stuff for unjust firing or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, so I agree with you. Business-wise, it makes sense. Overall, I just hated that we let these crappy people be in that position of power in the first place. But I digress. We're going to speed through the last ones. Not really so much of a discussion since we're already over, but we're just going to speed through the last ones. FIFA 23 World Cup mode. So Adam Bankhurst from IGN talks about this in the article. FIFA 23 will be getting its free FIFA World Cup 2022 update on November 9th, 2022, and it will bring it with the teams of the 32 qualified nations into the authentic experience. Side note: I am going to be playing as USA. The FIFA World Cup update will arrive on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC. But unfortunately, FIFA 23 Legacy Edition on Switch will not be getting the update. Shocker. Instead, Switch owners will be left with the standard version of the game that we gave a 2 out of 10 when it released. FIFA mobile players, on the other hand, will be getting a jump in a day early on November 8th. FIFA 23 players will get to play as any of the 32 qualified nations of the World Cup, and the entire tournament will be playable. Furthermore, players will be able to customize the tournament to their liking, meaning they can change up groups and substitute in select teams that didn't make it to the finals. The FIFA World Cup 2022 update will also have an online tournament mode that will let players pick a nation and fight through the knockout stage to win it all. From November 21st through December 18th, FIFA World Cup Live will be a live experience that will update through the actual group and knockout stages of real live World Cup tournament. This will be seen in updated fixtures and squads for each game as they were in the tournament. If an outcome of the game was not what you were hoping for, you will also have the chance to rewrite history and guide your team to victory. So, not really shocked about that with a Switch because Switch tech is just way far behind. But everything else, that's really exciting stuff.
The only thing I'm going to say is I hope they deal with it better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a World Cup list. let's say it had a bit of a problem with somebody turning off crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that theirs to actually do better. So make sure you police it and make sure you can make sure, I don't know about crossplay, make sure crossplay has to stay on and you're not just playing against the same people to boost your score.
Story number 4 on here: The Last of Us TV show date? Question mark, exclamation. Isaiah Colbert from Kotaku says this in the article. Someone at HBO Max made an oopsie today by accidentally publishing the release date for when The Last of Us Fawn family duo of Murder and Papa Cub, Joel and Ellie, will hit our TV screens next year. The Last of Us, according to some eagle-eyed Twitter users, may debut on January 15th, so mark your calendars. The fans spotted the show's release date on its HBO Max landing page, although searching The Last of Us on the platform no longer brings up the supposed release date. However, the January 15th date that it was in description of the show's Season 1 sneak peek trailer was reportedly confirmed with the sources close to the show by Video Game Chronicles and GameSpot, who added that the detail was accidentally published early on the streaming service. Quote, prior to the leak, HBO Max said that its Last of Us series will arrive sometime next year. An official release date announcement scheduled for later this week, according to BGC.
Good.
So there you
Please
go. So
be good.
Yeah, we may be getting ourselves a Last of Us game, or not game, but TV series earlier
Just
than
be
expected.
Good. Just don't be the Resident Evil. Don't be that Resident Evil show. Serious.
2 quick ones for you guys. Embracer Group is cutting ties, is what I labeled this. Kate Bailey from IGN says this in the article. The Embracer Group is shutting down the Onoma just months after its acquisition, with some staff set to be transferred to sister studio Adios Montreal, Bloomberg reports. The closure will impact some 200 employees. Formerly known as Square Enix Montreal, Onoma was acquired with the rest of Square Enix former Western Holdings back in August. It subsequently took on the name Onoma back in October. According to Bloomberg, the move is likely a cost-cutting measure, as Adios Montreal is reportedly reducing the scope of one project and plans to cancel another. Adios Montreal is also reportedly helping Microsoft in developing a game in the Fable franchise, though it's unclear if it's serving as a support studio for the Playground Games Fable project. It appears to be similar. It appears to be the similar deal to the deal that Crystal Dynamics had with the initiative to co-develop Perfect Dark. CDE Entertainment, the Embracer Group owned group comprised of assets acquired with Square Enix, sent the following statement in GI.biz from the director Phil Rogers. With the opportunity, and this is Phil Rogers speaking. With the opportunity to form the 12th operative group within Embracer, we have massive ambitions across Crystal Dynamics and Adios Montreal. We see the growth opportunities centered around our premier franchises and AAA games. Closing publishing QA and our Onoma studio is a difficult decision, and one that we've with great care and consideration. We take with great care and consideration. We greatly thank all those teams members for the contributions over the years and hope they find proper placements for as many as possible. So there you go. So Onoma, short-lived, extremely short-lived, is no longer a thing. And then the last thing is a little update for you guys for today. PlayStation Plus updates. Stephen Wright from GameSpot says this. November is here, and so are the latest free games for PlayStation Plus subscribers. November's PlayStation Plus free games lineup includes Neo 2, Lego Harry Potter Collection, and Heavenly Body. The trio of freebies are available to claim until December 6th. As usual, all Plus subscribers, regardless of their tier, can snag the Plus Essential games for free of November. End story, end stream. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been All Things Gaming. I know we just kind of super rushed through all of that. But we're pretty over right now. We'll definitely have some more stuff for you guys coming up here next week. This is actually going to be news to you guys too as well. But right now, we're going to put hold on our SIN segments until 2023. So no more Thursday night streams until then, mainly because we're going inside the holidays. We're about 3 or 4 weeks away from Thanksgiving already. Then after that's going to be Christmas, and then after that's going to be New Year's. So might as well just go ahead and ease into all of this. And just have focus on Thursday nights is no longer going to be SIN until 2023, where we're going to recalibrate that calendar and see what that looks like. We may go ahead and do a 9 to 5 stream this month, but that is TBD. After I talk with my colleagues here, my proteges, if you will, and we'll see exactly what we're able to work out there and go from there. But I just wanted to throw that out there that there's no SIN on Thursdays until 2023, and then right now it's still pending for us to have a Saturday 9 to 5. So if you guys like all of that, make sure you guys are following us on social media platforms. It's Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just type in ALWT Gaming, or at least we tried gaming, because at least we tried. I am Malachi36. This is It's the 9 Ball, and this is Mildew with Carrot, signing off for episode 37 of season 2, 2022, All Things Gaming.
Something real quick.
What up, Doc?
For old fans, looks like Paragon is making a comeback.
Yes, I did see that. That was news from last week. But yeah, I'm very.
Yeah, somebody else picked it up finally.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not because Paragon didn't end. Yeah, Paragon didn't end because it was bad. Paragon ended because they won the shit. All the
Fortnite became a thing.
Yeah. So there you go. So we made. Yeah, well, it looks like we're getting ourselves a Paragon back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again for tuning in. Appreciate you, Muzzy Muhizi, inside the chat. Appreciate you, literally just silent, not only just for the chat, but also for the sub continuously. We appreciate you, fam. And one last thing, I'm going to throw that out there before we officially dismiss. If you guys have yourself an Amazon account, right? Amazon Prime specifically, and you have a Twitch account, and you're married to the two together in holy matrimony, if you go ahead and do that, you guys get what is called a Twitch Prime account. So
that's where
every
Twitch
month,
babies come from.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing. They're popping out them Twitch subs every single month for free. You don't have to pay child support. You don't have to pay daycare. You don't have to do none of that. But what you can do is you can give it to one of us here at ALWT Gaming on a monthly basis for free. That's like $5 you're wasting otherwise. If you don't want to use it for ALWT Gaming because you just don't like us, that's fine too. Just go ahead and use it for another Twitch streamer that's out there. They can use the support and use the help as well. But we can too. So if you guys want to use it for us, we appreciate you. We love you. If not, no harm foul. We still appreciate you. We still love you. Until next time, everybody. Control, Alt, and
Complete.
Peace.
What?